So if we're being honest, at one point in time the golden weapons were a staple of the entire Ninjago series, but ever since Season 10, we haven't really seen or even heard of them since. However, with the new Ninjago season on the horizon, and with us slowly getting more and more information regarding this next installment, there's actually a pretty huge possibility that the golden weapons will be making a comeback, but this time, not in the way we may have initially thought. So as always with these types of videos, first of all we're going to need some context, and here, Promobrick, they basically said in a paragraph in their article the following. In the new season, he uses Vengestone, a rock that can inhibit the powers of the ninja, to forge the weapons of destruction out of the Spinjitzu's 4 golden weapons. Right, and that's basically the biggest takeaway from this paragraph for what we're going to be discussing today. That's really all that was said, and I'd say that that's a pretty big information bomb. Now first of all, take this with a grain of salt especially. Promobricks is very reliable with set information, but story information like this, yeah, stuff does tend to be wrong, because Promobricks, as far as I know, doesn't really have too much insight into the actual show and story details like this. So yeah, just take it with a grain of salt, although this does seem very likely, just considering what we see in the sets and all, it does seem like this could actually be the case. So first of all, this basically confirms why he's been buying Vengestone this whole time. Now, I don't know why he's been buying so much of this Vengestone. Maybe this is just going to be so powerful that he needs this much. But basically, it says that he's using this to forge them. But here's where it gets slightly strange, because it also mentions the weapons of Spinjitzu. Now, my theory here is that basically he's using this Vengestone to somehow incorporate them into the weapons of Spinjitzu, which I presume he possibly stole wherever they were being kept. So he's probably kind of using this Vengestone to protect himself from their full power, I suppose. I think that makes the most sense here, and that would definitely explain why basically he's been getting all of this Vengestone, because of course Vengestone does block elemental power, so I guess maybe that could also tie into why he's been, you know, buying all of this Vengestone, and then he's going to be using this Vengestone, basically merge it with the golden weapons to keep him safe, so that he can then use these golden weapons against the ninja. Now, it's also strange because the golden weapons, I didn't really think they would be able to react to the Overlord, just because of who the Overlord truly is, right? They only really react to the elemental masters, so maybe some sort of corruption is going to be going on. Maybe he would even melt them down again in some way, and then basically reforge them with this Vengestone stuff, and then that way he could use them for his own evil bidding, which, you know, that does kind of make sense to an extent. I guess they would have to do some explaining around that, and we just don't have that kind of information right now. But for what we know so far, I think that does seem like a fairly safe bet to make, right? And also as to what sort of powers these Vengestone kind of evil weapons of destruction have, maybe they are literally just going to be the exact same, but just kind of more evil, and are going to be used completely against the ninja. So for example, maybe he's still going to be having a Scythe of Quakes, but this time, you know, it will still have the power of Earth and all, but it will just be kind of more evil, I guess, something like that. Or alternatively, maybe he's going to be reforging them into some kind of big weapon that's just one thing. So imagine the mega weapon with a few tweaks and changes here and there, and that would basically be it, a huge new weapon of destruction. That could definitely work. Or maybe there'll just be a whole new set of weapons that look completely different to the weapons of Spinjitzu, right? That definitely is another possibility, and that way, you know, that would also make sense, because they've got to sell the sets, and people aren't really going to want to buy the exact same designs for these weapons, so I guess maybe he could be reforging them into a completely new bunch of weapons with a whole new design. And yeah, that would also be a good way to incorporate this whole Vengestone theme into the sets too, and also story-wise, right, that does make a fair bit of sense. So I think that's actually probably going to be the safest bet to make. But again, this information is fairly vague, but from what we know so far, I'd say that what I've just come up with today is probably the safest bet we can actually make regarding all of this. And yeah, I'm totally down to see something like this happen in the next season. But with all of this being said though, guys, do be sure to drop your thoughts down below in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts regarding this. As usual, if you did enjoy today's video, please do feel free to drop a like on it, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell if you haven't already too, so that way you stay up to date on all things Ninjago related here on the channel. And with all of this being said, guys, I will see you all in my next video, coming out very soon. Goodbye.